Okay, so we have a small company right now. It's my husband and I on payroll. We have a full-time employee that has just given his notice. So he was the only other person that was on our payroll as a regular employee. And we have a contract hire that works regularly, but we pay him, by check because he's a part-time, and through ADP, it's harder to do a salary plus us, or a salary guys, which is what we are, and then pay someone hourly. So that's how we chose to pay him. But I've come across some information that it makes it harder if it's just you and your husband, or a couple on a payroll, to start insurance benefits. And obviously we're looking to hire, but I just want to know, what are our options with that? Is it okay for us to have benefits, just the two of us, or what's the requirement there?
So they do husband-wife plans.
Okay.
Blue Cross Blue Shield for sure will do a husband-wife plan, and I believe United Healthcare just started doing them again. You can do them so long as everybody's offered the coverage. So as long as everybody that is a full-time employee is offered coverage, and you meet the participation, Blue Cross has a 75% participation requirement.
Okay.
But that does include other coverage. So if one of the full-time employees has other coverage, then that'll count towards your participation.
Okay.
And I apologize. Debbie sent me a whole list of notes, and my emails keep opening and then just shutting down, and I have to. So of course, they just did that while I was on the call. So I was trying to go back and look at Debbie's notes. So how many full-time employees do you have on payroll right now?
Right now, just one. And then we're interviewing. We're in the interview process with other people, but it's going to be, because of the nature of our business, something where we're going to probably be dealing with losing employees and gaining employees a lot, because we have a seasonal business.
Okay, so you just have turnover. Do you hire them? Are they hired seasonally, or?
They're hired as full-time, and this is our first. We want to hire with the intention of keeping someone on no matter what the season is. But I mean, people sometimes, especially people that are willing to do a high labor job, they get bored if they're not actually working. Yeah. So it's one of those things where I kind of see already that in December, when someone's not working, there's only so much we can give them to do before they get bored and just kind of want to do something else.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Brandy, just to kind of level set a couple things. So you guys just opened in April, right? You were fully operational in April.
Yes.
And you have two territories, two Mosquito authority territories in the spring.
Yes.
And you're focusing now on building up the one area before you start the other area. So
the second area, we're growing too. The first territory is kind of snowballing in itself, so we're really focusing on marketing on the second right now.
Okay.
And it's this Tomball, Magnolia, Hempstead, Hockley, all that area.
And so what is so while the gentleman that resigned, is that the one that was part of the VA?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to replace him full-time with a full-time person. So what is your expectation as far as growth within the next year?
I think that right now we're just going to try to keep somebody on in a role that can function until we get to that non-seasonal role, or that the season end, and then focus more on next year having a salaried employee.
Okay, got it. Okay, Jessica, I just wanted to give you a little bit more information. So when we're talking about options for Brandy and her husband, you're saying that Blue Cross Blue Shield and United Health would have a husband-wife plan that they could take a look at.
Yes, so Debbie will send the census over to you, so you'll just complete that information that's on the census. And it's real easy. There's going to be some areas that are highlighted in red, And basically we need your name. If you have dependents, we'll need their dates of birth and genders, and your home zip code.
Okay.
And then we can send that out to get quotes. And then once we get them back, we can kind of decide, what do you price range, benefit wise. So normally what I do is I'll pull a low deductible, a mid-range deductible, and then we'll put like a high deductible with an HSA, so you can kind of pick. Okay. And then likely you'll want to put all three options in there so that when you do hire, instead of having a plan, instead of just having one plan in place where the employees they don't have an option, you can put a few plans in place so that they can decide whether they want to buy benefit with a low deductible so that they have, a richer coverage, or they can buy price.
Okay.
So that way you'll have options for them, and that's better than just kind of pigeonholing them into one plan that you have. It'll give them the opportunity to pick what's best for their family.
Okay.
So we'll kind of go over all of that, and we can put some PPO options in and some HMO options. The HMO options will be a lot cheaper, but it's going to be a much tighter network. Mm-hmm. And that's why you get that price, because Blue Cross has that network. They've contracted those doctors in the HMO network, so they control the price. So that reflects back in your premiums. Now, not everybody likes that network, but
I like Blue Cross for myself. Yeah. For my network of friends that have small businesses, it's kind of the preferred provider. I think you're getting the most bang for your buck, at least in our area. It works.
Yes, they definitely dominate in the Texas area. So, and their HMO policies are going to come in cheaper than what the other carriers have. The other HMO policies from the other carriers aren't going to be as cheap, and it also gives you the opportunity you can put your contribution on a cheaper plan. So it kind of helps save the business a little bit of money as well. Okay, so we'll look at that. Debbie will send that spreadsheet over to you.
Can I ask a question about how do you get around open enrollment? If I decided to go with you guys tomorrow, can I get coverage whenever within a week or two, or do I have to wait for an open enrollment period?
So we're going to set your plan up. I can quote it for a 9-1, or we can quote it for a 10-1. And likely, so 10-1 is going to be a new quarter. Okay. And usually what happens with the rates is they tend to trend up. So each quarter, the rates are going to change. So we can quote you for a 9-1 and see what 10-1 rates look like, depending on what's going to be better for you. But your plan will start on the first of whichever month.
Okay.
And Brandy, you are interested in like 3 plans, an HMO, a PPO, and
yeah, I would love to look at all of the options.
Yeah, we'll spreadsheet multiple options for you so that we'll go into all of that. Are you and your husband on payroll, or are you guys like a K1 where you take a draw, or how are y'all paid?
No, we pay ourselves a salary.
Okay.
And why did you ask that, Jessica?
It's just depends on, it's the paperwork that you have to submit to the carrier. So if you take a draw from the company, you have to turn in different paperwork.
Oh, okay.
But for this, what they'll want is your latest TWC filing, because they want to see the taxes and the wages that are paid out, and that's really just to ensure that the employees are actually your employees, and that they're paid through payroll, that they're not 1099s.
Okay, well that works. And Brandy, to reconfirm, when we talked the other day, you were really only interested in medical, not vision or dental. Is that still the case?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that. I think dental is something that we need to look at.
So on the ancillary, they're voluntary. You can contribute towards them if you would like. However, you don't have to contribute towards the ancillary products. They are a la carte. So normally what companies will do is they'll put them in place there so that if you have an employee that does want just dental, then they could you'll have a dental offering. The only time it would ever come back to where the client, as in you, would have a financial responsibility towards that policy is if for whatever reason that employee is not paid on payroll, then their premium would default to you to cover during that pay period. Then, so say they're not paid for 2 weeks, you would pay that premium for that 2-week period. And then when they come back, the system will pull that money from the employee and pay it back to you on that next payroll that they're paid.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So that's really the only time that it would ever fall back to you. But as long as they're on payroll and they're running, if they're termed, you want to send in your termination so we can get them off the plan. But that's the only time that it would ever pop back to you. So normally our clients will offer all of the ancillary. It makes your benefits package richer too, because you have all of these other offerings that they can take or be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
The voluntary life insurance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about too. Mm-hmm.
That's a really unique benefit because in their first 30 days of hire, they can buy up to 5 times their annual salary or up to $150,000 without a health questionnaire. So they don't have to prove their insurability. So if you have an employee or that comes on and wants life insurance, like say they had cancer in the past, or they've had some sort of health issue that would cause them to not really qualify for life insurance, they can get a life insurance policy this way without filling out that health questionnaire up to that certain amount.
Okay, and that's within the first 30 days, you said, right?
Yeah, it's the first 30 days of their hire date. So
it wouldn't, my husband and I wouldn't qualify for that because we've already been hired, or we would because the insurance is starting at a certain date?
It would be your hire date, and I'm doing air quotes, under ESI, because for all technical purposes, we're going to be filing your employee taxes. So you are looked at as an employee of ESI. So your start date with ESI or any employee in the future, that's when that 30 days would start.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense. So Brandy and her husband could take advantage of any of the ancillary that we would offer. You could take it for yourself. So it could be short-term disability. Jessica, correct me. Short-term, long-term, and life insurance?
Yes, you can enroll on the others. The life insurance is the one where there's a waiver or where you have that special enrollment period where if you have something in the past, you can get it. On the long-term and short-term, there will be stipulations. So if somebody's pregnant, it's not going to pay out for that. It doesn't cover pre-existing conditions.
Okay. And Brandy, we have other ancillary benefits, which, as Jessica's saying, could make it look, pretty robust and rich for anybody you bring in on. But Jessica will correct me if I'm speaking out of turn here. We also have pet insurance if you want that, and we have vacation plans or vacation club plans and Christmas club plans that pay higher interest than your normal savings accounts.
Okay.
So those are, it's a savings account set up where you can set aside money. It's up to a certain amount. I believe it's $400 a month that you can set aside. But you get a 3% interest on it. There's specific times that you would have to enroll in it for you to get that percentage. But what a lot of people will do is they'll sign up for it. So Vacation Club's going to pay out right before Memorial Day. So what people do is they'll put money into that little savings account and then they use it for to go on vacation, or they'll use it for school clothes for their kids. Mm-hmm. So it's just a nice little savings. And then the Christmas Club is the same thing. And that'll pay out it's the week before Black Friday. So whenever your payroll falls before Black Friday, that money would pay out.
Okay.
They can pull the money out. So say they get a flat tire or their water heater goes out and they know that they've got money in that savings, they can pull that money out. We will give that back to them, but they would forfeit the percentage.
Okay.
It's just a kind of a neat perk. Because where do you get 3% on your money unless you're doing day trading like you?
I know, right? I love putting money in every little different option.
Yeah.
You never know, right?
Yeah. No,
Are you doing day trading?
I was. My husband just cashed that out. In 2020, I was like investing in Uber and United and all the cruise lines and things like that. But I think I made everything I could make off of that. So
my dad has 3 monitors set up in his office, and that's
really?
all he does. Oh my God, my mom's.
I had to stop finally because I felt like I was gambling all the time. Like that's what it really felt like at some point. I was like, oh my gosh, you can't predict what's gonna happen. Just stop.
Yeah,
nervous wreck, doesn't it? Watching it. Anyway, but it's fun too. I mean, it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're interested in 401k as well?
Yes.
Okay, so in order, like for that, we send you over to our 401k rep, and then there's a survey that you can fill out for that. And then what he would do is kind of walk you through what the options are and what that looks like. The good thing about joining a PEO is the fees are less or none. So it just depends on the size of the group and what you set up. But the fees, like the fiduciary fees and such that you have to set up if you're standalone, they're going to be significantly less, or there won't be a fee because you'd be ESI employees and it's our plan. So that you're also joining a huge pool of employees. So it makes your offerings a lot better.
Yeah, and we met with Bob Walsh last Thursday. So we had a call with Bob, and I think he owes Brandy an email. So we've got that part covered. Thank you though for bringing it up.
Okay.
So Brandy, any other questions? Did I cover everything? So it looks like we'll just give you, show you what the ancillary side is, just because why not? It's not going to cost you anything. And if you guys, I mean, it would if you enrolled in it, but not anything extra. And if they want it, then you guys want it. Perfect.
Yeah.
So
I think other than just seeing prices, then we're good. I mean, I it's worth mentioning I have a little athlete, so I need to find out what the maximum coverage I could get because he's always getting injured. So I think just providing those 3 will probably give me a good idea as long as I can look at it.
You likely want to sign up for the accident policy then.
Okay.
You might as well make some money off of those injuries. I rode horses growing up, and my mom had an accident policy for my sister and I, and she never got paid on me, but my sister paid her out quite a bit.
Funny.
Oh my God.
We just left the urgent care this weekend, so.
Oh my God.
What did he do?
He's playing tackle football against my better judgment, but he just hurt his wrist, and he's fine. The X-ray came back clean, but I'm just like,
Oh God.
We don't have insurance, so it was $200 out of my pocket, but I know it's just going to be more and more.
Yeah.
Well, at least there was nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, he's fine. Thank goodness.
Okay. All right. So that was good to know. Thanks for bringing that up. So Brandy, what I'll do is we've had all the meetings. I think we're done with all the groups. So I will send you an email with the different spreadsheets and information that we need to complete so that we can get a proposal back out to you.
All right. That sounds perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. And Jessica, any other questions or anything you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. I think kind of once we start digging in, once we get rates back and we dig into the plans, then, we can kind of go over some more, and I'll have the full quotes. So we can look at, there's a whole bunch of plan options. I'll pull, like I said, I'll pull kind of a high, medium, and low. And then we can kind of start from there. How do you want it to look? What are you kind of looking for? And then, what your budget is. So.
Okay. Sounds
great.
Good.
And then did you just want to quote Blue Cross Blue Shield, or also
It's
United
gonna
Health?
go everywhere, and then I'm gonna pick, we'll pick out what the best price and benefit is.
Yeah, I would. United Healthcare is good too. I just know that a lot of people that I've been talking to that are small business owners go with that, but it's really about price and coverage. Obviously, the same thing. It's always about.
Yeah, the United Healthcare is usually a little bit higher, especially for where you're located. Blue Cross is probably going to come in with the best rates.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Kirsten, did you want to add anything?
I was just going to say, hey, Brandy, I saw about half a dozen Mosquito Authority signs this weekend as I was out driving around. I thought about you. Yeah.
Good. That means they're out. So that's good.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're staying out. They're
Yeah,
not being up.
I know.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. It was a great call. And Brandy, as always, I'll get this thing converted and send the video to you.
Okay.
And then I'll get an email out so we can start gathering the info.
Sounds good. Thank you all.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you. Have a good afternoon. Thanks, ladies.
Take care, Brandy.
All right.
Bye. You too.